Hi, if you're new here, you might not know that I turn everyday items of junk into junk journals. The challenge is having all the scraps like this, I know, and maybe one of these and a few of these. So if you want to learn how to turn all your junk into a junk journal, you're in the right place. Today we're going to make the cover and we're going to sew in 11 signatures. And I'll be taking you through it step by step. So it is possible, you can do it. Just follow along with the very easy steps in the video. What if you haven't got a cute little pie box like mine? I am loving this little size. It's about probably 4.5, 5 inches square, and I just think that's going to make a really cute journal. You can use anything, any box. Cracker boxes, these are easy to cut down to size, whatever size you want your journal. I've made journals out of these chocolate boxes. Here's another one. I just keep them all. I have even made a journal using this weird shaped pizza box. I do have videos on a lot of these. Unfortunately, I can't share the finished product because it's gone. It's been sold. And this one is almost finished. We've been making this one on my channel. Just grab whatever box you've got. If it's too big, cut it down. If it's a perfect size, then let's go. Right, let's move this lot out the way and we're going to go through it step by step, and we're going to chop off all the bits that we don't want. So as you can see, I've cut the top flaps off and I'm just going to cut the top and the bottom from here. So what I'm going to do is, with these pieces, I'm going to cut these little flaps off because I don't need it to be that bulky. But my plan is to use these to reinforce my spine. So I'm sure that they're going to fit after a bit of measuring. And as you know, my measuring consists of, let's see if that fits. There we go. That fits. And we'll take the same amount off this bit as well. I don't need that chunky bit. And we'll just pop these on here. I may have to cover that with some scrapbook paper. And I sort of like some of this. I like this sort of label here. But what I am sort of tempted to cut this out and make it something different, maybe like a window. It looks like a window. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go with whatever I feel like doing today, and we'll see if you like it. No, where my window's going to open that way. I don't want to cut that one. This side with my knife and my metal ruler. And I'm going to come down this side. I have gone over the top, but it doesn't really bother me. If you want a nice straight edge, I did see a lady who did this, and she went like this, that end, and at this end. Then she went from this end where you'd stopped, and you got a lovely line. I'm hoping that will work. There's always a bit of trial and error and playing when you're making junk journals, and that to me is the fun bit. So I've now got to make this fold. So I'm going to just grab my pen and draw a line which will score down there. You can use a bone folder or something. I just didn't have one. And now we've got a little opening window in the front of our journal. Woohoo! I don't know what I'm doing today. This is just going to be playtime. I'm so excited. I'm loving this colour. And I think it's going to be sort of an autumny sort of journal. And I'm just going to glue it. I'm going to re-glue that because that doesn't look like it's stuck very well there. And I'm guessing it's the same there. That's the packaging, that's not me. That's not me. I didn't do that. Not gluing on my cutting mat. I made that mistake before. I glued on my cutting mat. So the fastest way to cover, right, that's the back, I need it this way, is move my scraps out of the way, is just to do that. Press it down, squeeze it flat and cut round it. That's also strengthened the back as well. I've still got my little window. I'm so excited about doing something with that, but I don't know what I'm doing with it yet, which is sort of exciting. So what are we going to cover? Should we cover the front? See, that's not quite big enough. I quite like this sort of. I don't like this, but I think it's going to be great for in here. So I could cover that and then just recut this hole. I'm not going to cover the front at the moment because I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But we're going to grab the mat back and just quickly go round. Oops, not that one. I nearly did it again. If you make a mistake, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to not worry. Because this is junk. This was going in the trash. Or maybe it was in the trash and you got it out to do this. It didn't go quite through. And got your pattern on the back. Just go over the top. That's it. Very gentle. Take your time if you're doing something a bit, you know, with your blade, because they're pretty sharp. Okay. Now that should be stuck onto there. Right, that's all we're going to do to the cover at the moment. What I'm going to do now is make signatures. That is just perfect. So I'm going to fold some of these. And already we've got the start of a little book. We're going to need a few more. Now you can fill it all with pockets, and this could be a little ephemera holder or a ticket holder. Make it into whatever you like. But I'm going to use some of this scrapbook paper, and I'm going to just get the right size from one of these. You can always trim the edges, so just make them roughly the same size. I'm going to leave mine like this because I'm going to have some flip outs. Gotta love a flip out. Okay, so all my pages are folded and my envelopes are all folded and hopefully the right way up. I will double check before I put them in the journal. We're going to stitch these in and I think that'll be fine. We're going to layer up. So what we'll do is we are going to count first and see how many signatures we can fit in this spine. Now, ideally, I'd like to put them all in, but probably won't be able to. So I'm just going to count every sort of, whatever that is, ½ centimetre from the sort of spine edges. So I'm going to put my ruler on. And it looks like 6, I would say. I don't want to push it onto the edge, onto the very fold. Otherwise your journal's not going to shut properly. So I've got 6. So is that 12? No, that's 11, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 would be pushing it, I think, because it's going to be right on that fold. So I'm going to go with 11. Okay, so 11 signatures. I know it sounds a lot, but it's a lot easier than sewing in one big fat one like this. Okay, so I think I've got too many. So what we're going to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 envelopes. Let's take the little ones out. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll take out those little bits. We'll pop them in afterwards. They're still going to go in. So I've got 11 pages. Winging it now, guys. I've never made a journal with 11 pages in. So I find my centre. This ruler is fabulous. It has a line in the centre, and I've used this on most of my journals, and I just find the centre like this. Okay. And we're just going to go down here, line it up. So that 11, yes, 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yes, I do need a centre line. Odd is always better because you can have a centre line and that helps. So what I'm going to do is start there, have that in my centre, and I'm just going to mark every half a centimetre across like that, all the way down. My lines down. How excited are you? I am, like, I've never made one this big or like this before. So I'm super excited. So we know this is our centre here. So we draw another line across. They look all over the place, so I'm not relying on that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my centre again here. It'd be quite handy if I actually put it in the centre, like that. And the beauty of this is I can go up or down, whichever. So I'm going to put my holes on the 4.5, and because I've got this fancy dancy ruler, if I do 4.5 this end, it's going to be the same. You can measure all 3 lines if you want, you know, in 3 different places, but yeah, that's not going to happen on my channel. Okay, and then we poke some holes. A bradawl or something, an awl. So grab a bit of foam or an old book, magazine, something like that to put underneath. Take your awl or your pointy tool and put a hole everywhere like this. Every intersection gets a hole, because that's where your needle is going to go up and down. So there you have all your holes, and you can see them on the back, poked straight through. Now, if you don't want all your lines, you can now rub them out, because you've done it in pencil, I hope. If you've not done it in pencil, then you can't rub them out. So I'm going to show you my really quick and easy way of measuring. Yep. Obviously that's my flappy foldy bit. I'm just going to tuck that in. So this will be my page. And all I do is look at my book, see where my holes are, and mark my page. I think that's going to be the quickest and the easiest way to do it. And I'm going to repeat that on all of my signatures, pages, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to get pencil and everything again. These are going to be on the bottom. You're not going to see it. Okay. So once you've done all of your signatures, back to this. Poke your holes. Can't see that one. It's around there somewhere. I'll do a couple. How about that? Because it's basically the same thing over and over. All right. Okay. Sewing them in. Now, maybe this may be a bit too thick. I'm going to swap that for... So I've got some of this. Great big ball of it from my charity shop. And it is as strong as you like. So you're not going to have any issues. Measure 3 times the height of there. Find an appropriate size needle. Don't knot the end. Now at this point, if you're worried about it all coming out, you can just tie on a paper clip or a button or whatever you've got handy. Doesn't have to be a paper clip. Just loosely tie that on. Obviously I don't do this because this is very fiddly and I've been doing this for years. But if you're new, that's an option to stop your thread from from falling through. Okay, so my first page, I'm going to make this big envelope. Outside to the in. Should we go outside to the inside and then we might cover this? That's what we're going to do. So up we go. The first page up in the centre. Let your paper clip go to the edge like that, or hold it, whichever. Come up through your hole. Honestly, 3-hole pamphlet stitch is the easiest one to do. I do it all the time. I've occasionally done a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Basically the same thing, just with more holes. But once you master this, junk journals become so much easier. And the way to master it is to repeat. So by the time you've sewn in 11, you're going to know how to do this. Back through the centre of your hole. Back. This is the tricky bit because you have to get back through that one with your string attached and not catch it. Otherwise it won't pull through. Okay. Put your needle somewhere safe. Don't do what I just do and just throw it down and then can't find it afterwards. You can untie that knot or do what I do, which is the lazy way of doing it, and just pull it off. Now, I like to make mine sort of a bit the same length, so I'll pull that through. Now you've got your string, tying that in, pull tight and tie a knot over the top. I am struggling with knots today, so that will hold that down. Okay, so there we go. I'll do 2. That's plenty. It's very thin string. And that is your first page in. How easy is that? I'll repeat one more time, then I'm going to do the other 9 because I think that would be a very boring video. Right, so 1, 2, 3. If you need more watching, just rewind the video and watch this bit again because I'm only doing it twice. Okay, so centre up. If you want your strings on the inside, start on the inside. If you want your strings on the outside, start on the outside. That's where your ends will be. if you're making a journal and you've already decorated your pages, then obviously check that your page is the right way up before you start, okay? Because that doesn't help, because then you have to take it all off and restart, or have your pages upside down. Have I done that? Yes, I've done that quite a few times. Okay, so this is your middle string, all the way down, in the second hole along, and into the last hole, back up the centre. Always the trickiest bit, I find, through there and back through the centre hole like that. So you're coming up where you started. As you can see, mine are both on the same side as this of this. If I tie a knot here, what's going to happen? It's going to go straight back through and my page is going to fall out. So this is why we do that. And we pull that way so we don't rip our pages, and tie a double knot. You can do a triple knot, flat knots if you know different knots. I don't know any different knots, I just know this one. So I go one way, then I go the other way. Today I do it. And I'm going to cut these off because I think they're going to get a bit of a nuisance. So trim them off, because we may cover this with something else and then you won't see this. We may just leave them because it looks cool. And there you go. That's 2 in, 9 to go. I'll see you at the other end. And just like that, all my signatures are in. Nice and neatly spaced out. Some are a bit higher than others, but it's a junk journal. I love it. I think it's going to be really cute when we've filled all this up. It will probably end up like that, but that's half the fun of it. So I do look forward to seeing you next time. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've loved it. I think it's going to be a super little journal. If you've enjoyed this video, I think you'll like this one coming up next.